G'day, welcome back to Max and Nate Horsemanship again today. Today in this video, I'm going to talk about something I have talked about in the past. Been a while, doesn't hurt to repeat it because it's a particularly important concept too because, well, it's horsemanship, which is one of the things I try to promote, is understanding the horse. And, well, this video is going to be about understanding the horse a lot, because what you see behind me here, well, it may seem like I'm quite sure that every single one of these horses here has been bred and raised domestically. But that's where a lot of people make a mistake because they think they're a domestic animal. They're not. In fact, I'm not sure there are any truly domestic animals, but I'm not going to elaborate on that right now. But what you're seeing here is a wild animal. And that's why people have trouble with these things. Well, it's also why they do so well when they get loose, and that's why there's herds of wild horses all over the place, because they do quite well in the wild because that's their natural habitat. And, well, right from the factory, they've got very, very strong survival instincts, which is what causes a lot of problems, because almost every single bad behavior, and I use that term loosely, bad to us, to the horse it's not bad, it keeps them alive, and that's why we have horses, is because of their survival instincts. That's what keeps them alive. So their instincts, very strong, but if you don't teach them to think instead of just reacting based on their instincts, you can end up with all kinds of terrible, terrible behaviors, causing problems from spooking, bucking, bolting, rearing, kicking, you name it. And, well, if it's something that you would consider bad or undesirable, it's possible that can happen. And why does that happen? Because these are wild animals. Don't believe me? Well, okay. Sure, they've been raised and bred domestically for, well, who knows how many generations. But that has not changed the core DNA of them. And they've even done tests on wild horses, and they aren't even actually truly wild, a lot of them. As far as I know, there's only one place in the entire world that truly has wild horses. Most of them are actually domestic horses that got loose. And the DNA testing on them has traced them back to their roots from the people that came to North America. And, well, they ended up getting loose from that point on. But they did quite well after that because they're wild animals. So when they end up loose in their natural habitat, they survive just fine. And that's why to this day we have horses, is because they're still a wild animal and they know how to survive. And as a result, we have horses. But that's also why people have problems, because, again, they still think these are domestic animals. No, they're not. These are wild animals. And that's why people have problems. All of the things that they do are things that wild animals do. Well, the undesirable things, at least as far as humans are concerned, it's undesirable. But every one of these horses here is in fact a wild animal and has the potential to react like a wild animal based on its instincts. And you need to understand that when you're working with a horse, and that's why proper training is so important, is because you're giving a horse the option of reacting based on instincts, is you're teaching it to think. That's why I often refer to training as an education, is because you're teaching it things, it's learning, and it's learning how to think its way through a situation instead of just reacting based on its instinct, which would be potentially dangerous. Not just undesirable, it could even be dangerous if you're not expecting it. And a lot of people aren't, because they don't realize what they're dealing with. They don't realize that this is basically a wild animal. These ones here, they're relatively tame because the environment that they've grown up in, they've seen humans a lot, they've been around people, they know we're a source of food, we put the hay out for them, all this good stuff. We fill the water trough. So humans are okay. So they tolerate us. Basically, that's what they're doing. They're tolerating us. But they're still a wild animal. And if you don't move appropriately and you act like a predator, or they are faced with anything that is scary, potentially dangerous, anything they don't understand because they haven't been taught to think, well, they're going to resort to their instincts for survival, and that's when you're going to have a problem. So helping you understand the horse and what you're working with is going to make your life a lot easier. And I'm telling you, you have to understand these animals, the fact that they are actually a wild animal, and they will behave as such. They have the potential to, no matter how long you've been training them, they still have the potential to react in a less than desirable manner. And you need to be always prepared for that, and you need to understand that, so that when it happens, well, it's not a huge deal, because you know, hey, that's what a horse is. They're a wild animal, and this is what horses do. Simple as that. Understand your animal. It'll make your life a lot easier if you know what to expect. Have a good day.